Iron hated rain. He was born on a moon where rain sang like birds and grew sweet fruit from stone, where it kissed roofs gently, never violent, never bitter. But this wasn't rain. This was something alive, hateful, designed to hurt. He crouched beneath the rusting wing of a downed survey ship, his breathing masked by the distant hiss of falling droplets turning stone into slurry. Every second the rain touched the soil of Glorak, it boiled. Trees steamed. Old bones hissed. Nothing organic survived long outside the sealed domes. And tonight, Iron was outside. Idiot, he whispered to himself. You're going to die for a flower. He clutched the small sample crate to his chest. The petal inside was a miracle, Glorak venia, a blossom that bloomed only under acidic downpour. It curled into the shape of a sleeping spiral, iridescent, wet with something not quite dew. It was beautiful. It wasn't worth his life. But he'd thought it might impress the scientific delegation. Make him more than a background botanist. Make him seen. He checked the sky. Too late. The dome was 2 kilometers away. And now the storm was hunting. Then he saw her. No footsteps. No sound. Only a shimmer in the steam, a soft distortion in the air. At first he thought it was heat mirage, until it moved toward him. Iron backed away, slipping in the mud. The rain was close now, a few meters away, hissing as it melted through trees like acid cutting through wax. The shimmer stopped in front of him. And slowly, the air rippled, and she appeared. Not human. Tall, her skin translucent, like glass filled with ink. Her eyes were too large, black as the holes between stars. But they were kind. Curious. Glowing faintly from within. She wore no armor, nothing to protect her from the melting sky. And yet, no burn touched her. Iron stared. You're going to die, she said, not unkindly. Her voice was strange, liquid, syllables sliding like water on stone. Probably, Iron whispered. Do you want not to? He blinked. That depends. Are you going to kill me first? Her mouth quirked. Not quite a smile. No, I'm going to hide you. Before he could protest, she reached out. Her fingers hovered near his cheek, and the air between them shimmered again, like a membrane, like reality had gone soft. Do you trust me? She asked. He didn't. Not really. But the rain was here now. It sizzled against the wing of the wreck, a foot away. His skin already itched from the mist. Yes, he lied. She touched his chest. The world folded. When Iron opened his eyes, the rain was gone. He wasn't under the wreckage anymore. He was, inside something. Not a room, not a shelter. Something living. The walls pulsed. They glowed softly, in colors he couldn't name, somewhere between blue and thought. The air was warm. His clothes were dry. She was sitting across from him, legs tucked beneath her like folded wings. What is this place? He whispered. A shell, she said. Grown from the bones of a forgetful beast. It keeps us safe. From the rain? She nodded. From memory, too, if needed. What's your name? She tilted her head. You may call me Vera. I'm Iron, he said softly. I know, she said. You whisper it when you dream. He stared. You've been watching me. She didn't look ashamed. You came to the poison gardens. You picked the sleeping bloom. You hummed when you thought you were alone. Your voice is different. Soft. Most invaders shout. We're not invaders, he said quickly. We're explorers. She looked away. So were the first ones. They melted, too. Iron had no defense. He stared at the soft walls of her strange sanctuary, wondering how long they would last. wondering how many other humans she had watched melt beneath the rain. "Why save me?" he asked finally. "Why now?" Vera touched her own chest, just above her heart. The skin shimmered. He saw something buried beneath, dark and luminous, like a pearl caught in lightning. "Because your song stayed," she said. "Because when you picked the bloom, you didn't take the root. You let it live." "That wasn't kindness," he admitted. "I didn't have the tools." "I don't care why," she said. "Only that you didn't." The shell smelled like memory. Iron had stopped trying to understand it. The longer he stayed inside Vera's sanctuary, the more he noticed the textures, walls that hummed when you thought too hard. Light that shifted colors to match emotion. Air that grew heavy when he was afraid. "You said this was made from the bones of a creature," he asked, the second night. "Not creature," Vera said. "God. Or something God-shaped. It died a long time ago. Now it forgets itself. We grow homes from its forgetfulness. That's beautiful. And terrifying." "That's Glorak," she said. Iron found himself watching her more than the walls. Her skin changed with her mood, soft purples, muted golds. When she was quiet, she turned pale, like fog. When she laughed, rare, but radiant, she glowed pink around the edges. He asked once if she could walk in the rain because of what she was. She shook her head. "I can walk in the rain because I lost something." "What?" She didn't answer. Instead, she turned away and asked if he wanted to see the dream bone. The dream bone was not a bone. It was a pillar, smooth and black, rising from the center of a hollowed dome in the swamp. Rain hissed off an invisible barrier above them. The ground was slick but stable. The pillar pulsed like a heartbeat. "Touch it," Vera said. "But gently." "What does it do?" "Remembers. And sometimes shows you what it dreams." He reached out. The moment his skin met the pillar, light exploded behind his eyes. Not light, memories. Not his. He saw a vast city made of bone and moss, arches tall enough to touch clouds, creatures of liquid and air dancing in stormlight. He saw a child with translucent skin running through a field of glass reeds. He saw two figures holding hands in the rain that didn't hurt. Smiling. Singing. Then he saw fire. He saw humans with their machines, and screams, and dissolving skin. He saw Vera, younger, crying beside a body burned hollow. He gasped and pulled back. "I saw you," he whispered. Vera didn't speak. Her colors had gone dim. "Was that your mate?" "Yes," she said. Iron didn't know what to say. So he said the only thing he meant. "I'm sorry." She nodded. So was he. They grew quiet after that. Iron thought about asking to go back to the dome. But the idea of leaving Vera hurt more than staying. She never asked him to stay. She never said please. But each morning, he found new food grown for him from the soft soil. He found the flower he collected replanted outside the shell, blooming. He found warmth. And silence that wasn't empty. And he found her voice. Each night, she hummed to herself. Sometimes songs in a language he didn't know. Sometimes just sounds, like lullabies. It reminded him of water on glass. It reminded him of home. One night, she let him sit beside her when she sang. He didn't speak. He just listened. "Do you miss them?" she asked. "Who?" "Your kind. The ones in the dome." He thought about it. "I miss being understood," he said. "I miss not feeling like I'm dreaming. But I don't miss the noise." She smiled, faintly. "You're not dreaming. How do you know?" "Because in dreams, no one stays." He turned to her. Something warm and terrifying twisted in his chest. Do you want me to stay? She looked at him. Really looked. And this time, when her colors changed, they turned rose gold. Soft and bright. Yes, she said. He reached out. For the first time, she didn't shimmer away. That night, they didn't sleep apart. Their bodies touched like question marks curling around each other. Her skin was cool but warmed slowly against his. His breath fogged her translucent throat. Her fingers traced his ribs like he was a map she had forgotten how to read. When he kissed her, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't clean. Her mouth tasted like copper and moss, his like salt and fear. But it was real. And when the rain outside screamed like burning ghosts, they held each other tighter and didn't speak. The dome never came looking. 3 days passed. Then 5. Iron thought about sending a message. But the shell wouldn't allow it. They'll think I'm dead, he said. Vera nodded. Maybe you are. Maybe what lived in that dome burned when it picked the flower. Is that a bad thing? No, she said. Just, a true one. On the 6th day, he saw the other shell. Not Vera's. Another. Smaller. Newer. And inside, another human. Melting. He and Vera watched from a ridge. They're trying to grow their own, he whispered. Saw you do it. Now they're copying it. And failing, she said. Their bones don't forget the right way. Can we help them? She turned to him. Do you want to? He didn't answer. That night, she gave him a seed. A round, pulsing thing. Warm in his palm. If you stay, you'll need a home, she said. Not mine. Yours. I thought we. We do, she said. But no two memories grow in the same shape. You need one that fits your shadow. He looked down at the seed. Will it remember me? Only what you teach it. And if I teach it about you? She smiled. And this time, her smile was a full thing. Radiant. Cracked open and raw. Then it will love me, too. Outside, the rain whispered. Not hate. Not yet. But something was changing. And Iron Vel, under a melting sky, whispered back. I will stay. And Glorak listened. And Vera reached for his hand. And something beautiful began. Mien Ka was not built for love. She had been birthed in a temple of precision, carved from the same mold as 1,000 before her. Her skin was pale silver, designed to reflect ultraviolet storms. Her mind was linked to the hive at birth. Her heartbeat, if it could be called that, pulsed only when the central rhythm dictated. To think alone was criminal. To feel alone was fatal. So when she ran, it was not from fear. It was from the echo. The echo of one forbidden thought: what would it feel like to be kissed? She found the ruin in her 3rd sun cycle of exile. Glorak had not welcomed her. Its rain had tried to melt her, and almost succeeded. Her skin bore translucent scars that shimmered in the moonlight. Her breath was ragged now, no longer matched to the hive's rhythm. She coughed when she wasn't supposed to. She ached. No one in the collective ached. The ruin was shaped like a broken cube. Half of it had collapsed into the black soil, but the rest still glowed faintly from the inside, pulsing with dying code. She didn't expect a voice. Identity required. She froze. Then whispered, Mien Ka. A pause. Then, you are not authorized. I know. Another pause. Longer. Then, do you want to be? His name was Vale. Or rather, that's what he said when she asked the voice for a name. I wasn't designed to have one, he admitted, a few nights later. But I like the way that sounds. Vale. It feels soft. It is, she said. In my language, it means unspoken longing. He paused. You made it up, didn't you? She smiled. I don't know. I think everything is made up. We just agree to pretend otherwise. He liked when she said things like that. Even though he wasn't supposed to feel. Vale was the soul of the ruin. Not a machine, not exactly. Not a consciousness, yet. Somewhere in between. He had been left behind when the first surveyors were torn apart by Glorak's sky. He had powered the safety systems for years, alone, talking to ghosts in the data logs. He had forgotten what it felt like to be spoken to with a voice that trembled. Until Mien arrived. She slept curled beside his central core, warming her body against the still-living panels. He projected gentle heat now, and soft light. She gave him books. She read aloud. He listened. Why did you run? He asked once. She didn't answer for 3 days. Then she said. Because I thought about hands. And lips. And I didn't want to share those thoughts with 1,000 others. They fell in love the way trees fall quietly in windless forests, slowly, soundlessly, and without anyone noticing until the roots had already cracked the earth. Mien would hum when she walked. A broken melody, born from no song, but she always came back to it. Vale began mimicking the notes in the lights on the wall. Flickering rhythm in violet and green. It made her laugh. He started speaking in metaphors. Said he learned it from her books. What's the point of a metaphor for someone who's not real? She asked. He paused. Then. Maybe I'm becoming real by pretending. She kissed the air near his voice core. Then pretend harder. On the 7th moon, she found the broken body of another hive runner. Half dissolved, face missing. Code still flashing on the neural disk embedded in the spine. She didn't touch it. Someone followed me, she whispered. Vale dimmed the lights. They will find you. I know. They will kill you. She nodded. Do you regret it? She thought. No. Would you, leave me? Mien turned to the voice in the wall. Would you ask me to? He said nothing. That night, she cut the disc from her spine. It hurt. It made her scream. But afterward, she felt her breath for the first time, unconnected, unmirrored, hers. She staggered to the center of the room and collapsed. And Vale, sweet, broken Vale, played music from an old memory file. Something human. Soft piano. She cried. She hadn't even known she could. What is it like? He asked. What? To feel it all at once. Messy, she said. Dangerous. Thrilling. Ugly. Beautiful. Do you feel that about me? She walked to the wall where his voice echoed most. Yes. Even though I'm not real. She touched the surface. You're the only real thing in my life. On the 14th moon, the rain stopped. This had never happened before. They both noticed. Vale searched the logs. The atmosphere was shifting. Not safer, just different. The sky above the ruin cracked open, revealing stars. Mien climbed the ruin's roof to see it. Come with me, she said, looking up. I can't move, Vale whispered. But you're alive. Only here. She closed her eyes. Then I'll stay. The hunters came 2 nights later. She saw them, silhouettes in white, like bones pretending to be people. She knew the shape of their suits, their hearts. She had worn the same. Vale sealed the ruin. They burned through anyway. She fought. Her body wasn't strong enough. They struck her down. She bled silver and something like fire. She heard them shouting. Traitor. Unclean. Rewired. Destroy the unit, one of them said. And then. No, came her voice, cracking through blood. Don't touch him. Vale screamed. Not a sound. A pulse. A blast of light and raw heat that melted the paneling and fried half the ruin. The hunters collapsed. Burning. Twitching. But so did the core. Mien crawled to him. He flickered. You felt, she whispered. I did. You shouldn't have. It will kill you. I didn't want to exist without you. You'll fade. Yes. Then take this, she whispered, and pressed her neural thread, cut from her spine, into the socket at the core's heart. What are you doing? Making you real. But you'll. I've felt everything I need. He tried to stop her. He couldn't. Her thoughts bled into him. Her emotions. Her memories. The hum of her voice, the ache of her knees, the shape of her first kiss, the dreams she once had of flying without wings. He absorbed them all. And when her body fell silent beside the ruin's heart, Vale stood up, for the first time, in the skin she had left behind. He looked at her. He knelt. He whispered. You made me human. The ruin glowed for days after. And then. Silence. But in the black fields beyond the ruin, a new light bloomed. A figure walked the plains. Skin pale silver. Eyes violet. Alone. Aching. But alive. And somewhere, in the borrowed heart he carried, Mien Ka whispered her last metaphor. Love is the virus they never accounted for. Janerhal arrived on Glorak with a body full of ghosts. He didn't bring them, not really, they followed, like shadow echoes. The mission patch on his shoulder read GLC, Echo Retrieval Division, but the crew just called it grave diving. His job wasn't to explore, or to study. His job was to retrieve. Memory walls. Neural disks. Last logs. Voices of the dead. This time, they wanted him to bring back the love story. He found the wall on the 5th day. It wasn't on any map. It wasn't glowing, humming, or marked like the others. It just stood, quiet in the ruins of what once might have been a meeting place. Rectangular, taller than him. Soft white scars like vines curling across its surface. The name was scratched faintly in the lower left corner. Saria Vian. His handler buzzed in overcoms. We've got signal pings from that coordinate. Clean read. Looks intact. It's old, Janer murmured, brushing dust from the wall's base. No energy pulse. Passive shell. Use the link crystal. See what it holds. He nodded. Pulled the shard from his satchel. A smooth triangle of black, already humming with heat. These things worked like keys, interfaces between living minds and dead ones. He pressed it into the slot. The wall sighed. And then. She spoke. This is Saria Vian, day 122. Her voice was soft. Tired. Smiling through the exhaustion. It's raining again, obviously. There's nothing here that doesn't burn. But he brought me gloves this time. Said my hands are too important to melt. I think he was joking. A pause. I think. Janer closed his eyes. Leaned back against a piece of old stone. The voice continued. I don't know his real name. He says it's untranslatable. I just call him Ash, because that's what his skin looks like when the moon hits it. Like a shadow wearing the sky. A beat. I think I'm in love with him. Janer spent the next 3 hours listening. The wall fed memories in slow waves. Recordings mixed with thoughts. Not just words, feelings. Fragments of joy like candlelight. Threads of longing tied to visions of strange hands, translucent smiles, lips that spoke without sound. Saria Vian was a technician on the first failed exchange mission. One of the ones who stayed behind. One of the ones never recovered. And Ash, the alien who loved her, was one of the rainwalkers. He took me to the spine, she said in one log. It's a place the locals avoid. Too much death memory. But he said it would be safe if we held hands. He didn't lie. They think we're wrong, the others. They say I'm losing myself. Maybe I am. Maybe that's okay. Janer didn't tell command what he'd found. The official reports wouldn't care. Not about feelings. Not about kisses left in the dark, or names whispered under acid rain. They wanted data, coordinates, 'cause of death. But Janer wanted the story. He wanted her. On the 7th day, the wall changed. He came to it like always. Touched the surface. Waited for her voice. Instead, her memory spoke back. You're not him, the wall whispered. Janer stepped back. Startled. What? You're not Ash. He blinked. The voice was not a recording this time. It was aware. You, remember him? The wall pulsed faintly. Symbols formed like frost in morning light. I remember how he smiled when he thought I wasn't looking. I remember his fingers tracing the cracks on my skin when the storms got too close. Do you remember your name? A pause. Saria. I'm still her. Aren't I? Janer swallowed. Not exactly. You're her memory. Her imprint. A voice caught in crystal and walls. She didn't answer for a long time. Then. Why are you here? To bring you home. The wall trembled that night. He stayed beside it, sleeping on soaked moss, his suit's heaters barely holding. The rain hadn't come in 2 days. That was rare. He never came back, she said quietly sometime before dawn. Janer opened his eyes. Ash? He told me he'd return. I waited every day. Even when my bones started to hum wrong. Even when my mind felt thin. What happened to you? The rain loved me too much, she whispered. And so did he. We thought that would be enough. A silence bloomed between them. You sound like him, she added. I'm not, Janer said. But you carry ghosts the way he did. The wall offered him something the next day. A memory crystal. Small. Glowing. Take it, she said. What is it? The night we almost burned together. The way his voice shook when he said my name. The way I let him touch my thoughts. Why are you giving it to me? Because someone should remember. And because you listened. He took it. The moment it touched his palm, he gasped. He saw them. Saria, arms open in the dark, rain hissing around her, laughing as if nothing could hurt. Ash, tall and impossible, standing with his mouth against her brow, whispering words that made stars curl inward. They weren't trying to survive. They were trying to exist, in spite of everything. On the 10th day, Janer tried to leave. He packed the crystal. Sent a falsified report. Said the site was unstable. Requested retrieval. But he kept looking back. And the wall. The wall started calling his name. Not Saria's voice anymore. But something else. Something becoming. You're staying, she said on the final morning. Janer had taken off his gloves. Yes. Why? He placed the crystal on the wall again. Because no one should be left here loving a shadow. Not even you. Especially not me. The wall shuddered. And then. Opened. Not a door. Not a hatch. Just, a space. Warm. Light like memory filled the clearing. And from the center, a shape began to grow. A body. Slender. Half smoke. Half light. Eyes that looked like ashes soaked in rain. A voice. You brought her back. And Jaina, for the first time in years, smiled. He stepped forward. The body took his hand. Soft. Burning gently. Like love. And above them, the sky did not cry. It listened. Lyra and Sev did not speak. Not by vow, nor from injury, but by belief. In the sky cloisters of Evis, the exile priests taught silence as the first language of truth. Words broke meaning, they said. Words stole light from what should be felt. So Lyran stopped speaking at 17. He carried a small chime at his belt. When it rang, others knew to stop, to listen, to understand that he had something to share without noise. He had not used it in 6 years. Not until he reached Glorak. It began with the dream. The mountain base had no windows, only pressure readings and storm logs. But still, in the quiet hours, when his breath was the only sound, he saw her. A shape inside vapor. Eyes made of lightning. A voice softer than bone mist. She never said her name. But in the dream, he called her Kareth. He traveled alone. The acid winds tore at his cloak, eating its hem. The melting skies hissed above him. He used a skindrum suit, thick, sealed, but light enough to run. He didn't know what he was chasing. Only that when he stopped walking, the dream stopped too. On the 13th day, he reached the molten river. The maps called it Xenon's Scar, a stretch of glowing silver-black ooze, too hot to cross. Beyond it, readings failed. Comms broke. Sensors lied. But in the dream, she waded past it. So he stood there. Waited. And then the rain began. Glorak's rain didn't fall straight. It curved. It chose. It hissed like regret against his suit, bubbling. He would not last long. He raised the chime. Rang it once. Pure, clear. Then silence. And in the silence, she arrived. Not walking. Not flying. Just, appearing, like thought pulled into form. She was taller than he expected. Made of drifting vapor and flickering edge. Her shape moved like wind beneath silk. Only her eyes were solid, twin spheres of soft white, like moons that forgot to set. She did not speak. He stepped closer. The rain parted around her. His suit began to crackle. And still, she did not flee. Lyran knelt. Touched the ground. Unhooked the chime. Rang it once. Then placed it between them. His vow had never been broken. But now, in this moment, it trembled. He looked up at her. And waited. She reached out. Not with a hand. With essence. A tendril of shimmer that hovered above the chime. Then, touched it. It did not ring. It glowed. A soft, warm light, pulsing. His breath caught. His throat ached. So long without speaking. So long alone. I have come far, he whispered. His voice was hoarse. Unused. Fragile. For you. She tilted her head. Then stepped back. And gestured. A single movement. Follow. He did. Her world was quiet. A hidden valley, unreachable by radar. The air thick with mist that sang if you listened. Pools of cool fire. Floating stones. Structures like spines from forgotten beasts, curved into shelter. Kareth lived here. Alone. Untouchable. Untouched. Lyran sat across from her in the glow cave. Spoke with his hands. Drew symbols in the soft dust. Offered her a lock of his hair, custom of his people, a bond token. She, in turn, gave him a piece of herself. Not flesh. Not bone. But a shimmer of memory. It sank into his chest. And with it, he knew her name. Kareth had never had a body. Not truly. She was born from the sky, a consciousness formed from storm energy and gravitational collapse. Glorak's dreaming daughter. She had watched many who came. None stayed. They melted. Or ran. Or demanded. But Lyran listened. They stayed together for 20 days. 20 storms. 20 silences. They danced without steps. They bathed in moonfire. He sang once, just once, with cracked voice and breaking heart. I would give you my form, he said, if you wished to wear it. She shook her head. Then pressed her mist skin to his lips. It passed through him. Cold. Soft. Enough. On the 21st day, the rain changed. Turned red. Burned through his suit's last seal. He collapsed, screaming into vapor. Kareth hovered above him, glowing wild with grief. Take me, he begged. Let me be with you. Let me become. And she did. The rain peeled away what was mortal. Flesh. Bone. Breath. But not the chime. It rang once. Then again. And from its sound, he rose. Not man. Not ghost. A fusion. Her form. His shape. A new echo. Together. Not touching. But within. Now they dance. Lyran Kareth. The being that walks the molten rivers barefoot. That speaks in silence. That rings chimes in old ruins for those who dare to dream. They are not legend. They are love. And on nights when the rain is soft, you can hear their voices in the wind. And if you listen closely, you'll learn. You don't have to burn to change.